now tuned into the DFPN, the Dat Villain Podcast Network. Welcome to the Smoke Pit. It's Friday night, come and take a load off. Come sit in the smoke pit, it's time for us to show off. It's been a long week, come relaxing, get some laughs in, and let's talk about these brackets. And while we at it, tell me whose man's is this? Cause I got questions, I'm hoping you can answer it. Get ready, cause you know we gon' talk a lot of shit. It's Mac and Mac, welcome to the Smoke Pit.
Yo, what up, everybody? Y'all know what the fuck going on over here. It's the homie Mac, aka your boy. It's a Friday night, and y'all know we gotta talk about it. I know y'all know what we finna talk about tonight. I couldn't not talk about it, but I brought some friends with me to talk about it with. All right, but before we get into all that shenanigans, welcome to episode 74 of the Smoke Pit. My homie Black Mac is not here. He's in Texas at WrestleMania weekend, so I hope he's enjoying himself. But like I said, we got a good show for you. Right quick, shout out to our sponsor, Plug Earbuds. GetThePlugs.com for your wireless headbuds, earbuds, whatever you calling them things. Good music, good sound. Check them out. Use promo code DFPN10. Get 10% off. Subscribe to the Bandcamp. That's where all the Dat Villain music is at. New music was updated today by the homie E. Smithy. So as low as $3 a month, you can go there and check it out. datvillain.bandcamp.com. You know we got the Patreon going on. I just brought back I Said What I Said, Don't Add Me as a Patreon exclusive. So you'll be getting that bonus podcast every week, maybe twice a week, depending on what kind of shenanigans go on in the world during the week. So if you want that, head over to patreon.com/datvillainpodcast. Low as $3 a month. Get in on that as well. And of course, we got the merch at the Teespring, so hit them up. Search for Dat Villain Podcast Network. See our store. All of that good stuff. All of the merch from all of the shows are there. Now, I ran through that because we need to talk about some shit. So I told you Black's not here, but I do bring a veteran to the guest hosting job of the Smoke Pit. You may know her as the Good Sis. She is currently, well, we walked through some technical difficulties. She should be good. So everybody, welcome the Good Sis, aka D Nice, back to the Smoke Pit. What up, homie?
Hi, everybody.
What's good? What's good? And bonus, ladies and gentlemen, bonus. I brought another good friend of mine. You may or may not know her in the One Charlie 5 field, but she has the call sign Rampage, and it's for a good reason. We didn't just give it to her. There's a reason she's known as Rampage. But welcome the homie Janae, first time guest hosting the Smoke Pit. What up? What up?
What up, everybody?
What up? What up? So, ladies, let's not beat around the bush. This past Sunday night, shit went down, right? I don't know who all was watching the Oscars live. I know I wasn't. I don't really watch the whole Oscars ceremony or whatnot. But a friend of mine who is just as messy as I am sent me a clip to my inbox where I saw some shit go down at the Oscars. Now we all know what it is. I thought it was fake at first. I was just like, there's no way this is happening, like live, like on a stage like this. No way, this has to be a skit. Further evidence then showed me that it was real. So I'll start with you, the Good Sis. Where were you at when you first heard of the events that happened that evening?
I actually heard about the events 7 minutes after it happened. I was scrolling through my phone, looking at Instagram, Facebook, that kind of stuff, whatever. And I was like, oh, I ran across this clip. Mm-hmm. I was like, ain't no way. Because, you know, the Shade Room be on it. Like, the Shade Room has everything, like, stacked. Yeah. So I'm like, there's no way. I watched the video. I was just kind of like, I'm not really sure what's happening here. But it was enough for me to actually turn on the Oscars at that point. And I was like, it was funny because I was with my dad, and I was like, hey, allegedly Will Smith just got on stage and slapped Chris Rock, and he's like, yeah, right. And I'm like, look at the clip. And so I showed him the clip or whatever, and we were just sitting there like, well, what happened? What is this about? And so I didn't think it was real. And then that speech happened. I was like, oh, okay, it's real.
Oh, the speech or the him just going back to his seat and adding to it.
The Oscar speech with the tears.
Oh man. But all right, Janae, so where were you at when you were notified of what TF happened?
I was in the bed scrolling through IG, and I saw it on the Shade Room, and I was like, ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking
right.
way. I was like, this ain't real. And then actually Lori hit me up and she was like, yo, did you see what just happened? And I was like, yo, I don't know if this is real or not. Cause like what could have been so bad? Like a joke, comedians joke all the time.
Yeah.
Then I saw the clip where it had the sound. Cause apparently the Oscars cut the sound after. So then I saw the clip that had the sound and Will was like, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. And I was like, oh shit, this is real. And then I saw Lupita's reaction and I was like, oh, this is for real. And I was like, well, then he was
giving Willie from Philly.
Yo, I was like, yo, you did all this shit over Jada with the hair. And I was like, I get it. Like, hair is important. Alopecia. But I was like, damn, like, in my opinion, that joke wasn't that bad because there's so many other jokes he could have said. But you gon' tarnish your reputation, slap a black man at a predominantly white event on national TV and just be like, I'm gonna stick beside this. And then she stuck beside him with it and she supported him through it all. I was shocked and appalled.
So I saw the video and like I was 100%. This is fake. Like, of all the people to lose their shit to that extent, Will Smith, in my mind, for whatever reason, and we kind of talked about this, Janae, before we went live. I low-key kind of built him up to be the dude who was always going to take the high road for whatever the fuck was going to happen, right? Because, bro, you are too, where you at in your life, you should be super unbothered. And the shit you just went through last year or the year, whatever that was, the entanglement year, it looked like you were able to overcome that and move forward. Like, you didn't let that get you down. You moved forward. You were in this movie, King Richard, played the hell out of that part. Tonight was supposed to be your night. I think everybody kind of assumed he was going to get the Oscar for that part. And to me, I don't think, unpopular opinion, I don't think he should have got the Oscar for that. I think he got robbed of the Oscar when he what was that, Pursuit of Happiness? Like, I feel he should have got it that year. He didn't get it. So you know that Oscars be like, oh, we owe you one. Here you go. It was a slow year of movies, COVID and shit. We'll give you this one, Will. So that happened. Immediately, America's just like, we got to take sides. You either Chris Rock is wrong and he deserved that slap. Will, it was right. I would have did the same thing if that was my wife. Or you're on the side of Will, the fuck is you doing? So we'll start with the Good Sis. So where were you standing on that? Like, what is your outlook on that situation?
No pressure.
None.
No pressure. Honestly, I didn't choose a side when it came to this because, for one, coming from a woman's perspective, especially a black woman, her hair is her crown. So alopecia, which I'm coming to find that Chris Rock didn't know anything about at the time or whatever, but like, that's not something that you would joke about. Now, I've read some other articles and it wasn't really so much the bald joke. There was a joke within a joke, apparently, that kind of went over some people's heads. Like, if you knew, you knew, and others did not know. And so when he referenced her as being G.I. Jane 2, it was Demi Moore who played G.I. Jane?
Yeah.
So back in the day, apparently, Demi Moore, she had a little thing or whatever, and she had a husband before Bruce Willis.
Yep, she did.
Mm-hmm.
And she cheated on Bruce Willis as well with someone younger.
Mm-hmm.
And they were comparing that vibe or whatever to the whole thing that was going on with August Alsina. And then you top that off, now she bald-headed like G.I. Jane. Boom, G.I. Jane 2. So it was 2 jokes that garnered that slap, apparently.
But there was way worse jokes said.
There
was way worse jokes said about her entanglement. We still talk about the entanglement.
I mean, I'm sure there is more jokes, worse jokes or whatever. Like I said, that's why I'm like, I'm not on a side when it comes to this, because when it comes to Black women's hair, I understand that is a source of pride and that is a crown. And so to make a joke like that, it's distasteful and it can be very hurtful for a Black woman, especially when it's just like, I've lost my hair, I'm bald now, and like there's nothing I can do about it but throw on a lace front wig. So I can understand from that aspect. And I would say most people that we would deal with or talk to when something like that would come on, or if that were to happen to one of us or whatever, if it was a significant other, they would look at us and be like, what you upset for? It ain't even that deep. It's just a joke. Like it's nothing for you to be like butthurt about. But at the same time, what people don't realize is even when you say things like that, as true as it may seem to you from your perspective, you're still like, what is the word I want to use? You're invalidating the way that person feels when you do stuff like that. And it's easy to invalidate when you can't relate and you're not in that situation. So what I also saw was a husband saying, you are justified in what it is that you feel. I'm validating what you feel. I understand your pain. I understand that you are hurt or whatever, and I'm going to do something about it. I saw that. But then on the flip side, it was just like, bruh, like this was your night. And as everyone has said, worse things have been said. And it's very conflicting because like there was that laugh, which everybody saw, but then it just like the vibe changed real quick. And then it was like, boom, okay, I have to do something. So that's probably what led people to wonder like, okay, but like, were you legit angry from the start or like, what was your deal? And we'll never really know. I mean, that if you've ever been put in that situation where people are saying some kind of crazy and out of pocket and you don't want to address it right then and there, you just kind of do that nervous little laugh, like like you're trying to laugh it off and like move on, except for like he couldn't move on because he looked over and like she looked hurt, so he felt like he had to do something about it. But again, at the same time, like it was your night. Like there's so many other things that could have taken place that you could have done. But I will say, for what it's worth, and I think this goes on the record for a lot of women, sure, it may have been distasteful and it may not have been the ideal situation or the thing that we would have wanted to see for him. But I can see that a lot of women probably were like, man, it really is nice to actually see somebody step up and not invalidate my feelings and like really do something to that caliber. A bit extreme, but shit, you did something.
Yeah.
And that's more than what most would ever do.
I hear that. What about you, Janae? How'd you feel about it?
Just unbelievable.
I felt that the slap was a bit extreme. Kind of like what we talked about beforehand. Like you can still, I feel like you can still validate how your wife feels in that moment. And if Chris Rock didn't know, and if y'all have been friends for the way that they say y'all been friends, like you could have had a conversation with him man to man, right? But you didn't do that. You took it upon yourself to basically tarnish both of you in one single slap, right? Like you got Chris Rock actually looking like way better because he did not react how most people would have reacted, but you reacted out of emotion, which that's fine. Like it's cool that you have these emotions. It's cool that you're seeing the pain on your wife's face. But you could still have a conversation with that man where you don't need to embarrass yourself and embarrass someone else. Because like you said, it was supposed to be his night, right? Like you finally want to get this man an Oscar, but here you gonna do this on stage. And then you didn't apologize directly to him. You apologize to everybody else when you accept
that part.
but you didn't apologize to him. But it's like, what's crazy to me is y'all supposed to be these friends, right? You've known him for all this time, you love this man, all this other nonsense, but you mean to tell me, like, if y'all that cool, you can't have a conversation with him and be like, look, that's an appropriate joke, my wife is dealing with this that really hurt her, and I don't want you on stage hurting her publicly. But it's like crazy because kind of like Willie said, like, people built Will Smith up to be this almost like godlike person, right? So you expect him to handle things in a certain manner, right? Where even now that video that resurfaced of him talking about how he doesn't condone things with violence or like reacting violence, like, you're the one that's putting all this energy out of how you want to do positivity and all this love, and Jada's doing the same thing. But then why do you take this moment on this biggest stage and you can't manage your emotions and you react that way? Because what's crazy is when you actually watch the video, like, he initially laughed at the joke, which it could have been that awkward laugh, to then you snapped in 1 second and then you walked on stage to do it, and then you came back and like your whole demeanor changed as you're yelling back at him, and then you go back to just being like all cool and chipper. So it's like you went through a range of emotions in such a short period of time. So at some point you can obviously control your emotions because you controlled it when the cameras came back on you.
I just thought it was mad weird that, like, after that slap happened, like, the rest of the people did not know how to move forward, but somehow they just did, and it made it even more awkward. Like, did Chris Rock just not get his face slapped off by a man in a tux? Like, we're not going to address that. And it would do, like, they would address it like a little bit, but like not really to the death, where it was just like, okay, this whole thing is just weird at this point.
Super weird. Like it was even weird that you got Tyler Perry being the man to console him. Like, why?
Why is Medea giving out advice?
Exactly. Like, but y'all not over here worried about Chris. Y'all more worried about Will. Y'all not worried about this man that just got slapped.
Yo, so Drea Heisig is watching. What's up, Drea? She asked, how would you guys feel if Chris Rock would have retaliated back? Like a kerfuffle would have happened on that stage.
I would have been like, ooh, the ghetto.
Yeah, I would have been like legit, I would have been like, black people ain't about to come back to the Oscars no more. We not about to have no black people producing the show. We done made a whole nothing of ourselves. We done been set back so far. Like, I am proud that Chris Rock didn't react because that's what you expect, right? And honestly, what it made me think of is the Boondocks, right? You know, the episode where they talk about the nigga moment.
The nigga moment? Yeah.
And that's the nigga moment. And that literally made me think, like, if you would have reacted, that is the only thing that would have came from that night. That is the only thing. And it would have been like a mess.
I've been hearing it from all sides. Like I have a younger sister, and I got numerous female cousins, all black. Day after the slap, they were all about it. Like, damn right, Will, that's right. Ain't no more disrespect for black women. All of that stuff, and I'm here for it because I do feel, if we're gonna break things down into categories and classes and stuff, black people automatically we're behind the power, right? It's always been like that. Women as a whole have always been behind men when it comes to rights. So you put black women together, it's a tough road. You guys have been striving and climbing to be respected, to be, and me and Janae were talking about this when they were doing the Senate interview hearing or whatever for Justice Ketanji, right? And they were just her patience that day. Like, I've been through some long days at work where I'm just like, man, everybody here is stupid, but the amount of stupidity was thrown her way, and she was supposed to keep it together, and she did. Good for her for doing that. Better person than me, because I would have been like, y'all can have y'all funky little justice seat. I don't need it if it's this serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good. Keep y'all little funky. But she stuck it through. She stuck it through and did her thing. But at the same time, it's like, one, I'm not really sure if Chris Rock knew her medical condition, because she was rocking the short hair for a while. All of this other stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, everybody's like, oh, it's public knowledge, but I don't follow her, and like, I don't see nobody really saying anything about it. I just thought she was going for the short hair look.
I didn't know.
So
I didn't know. I thought she cut her hair off because Willow cut her hair off.
That's what I'm saying. So, and now that I know that Willow did that in support of her mom going through whatever, but I feel, this is just me, I feel if Chris Rock knew it was a medical condition, he probably wouldn't have went at it like that. You know what I'm saying? Albeit, that is your wife. She looks hurt. You feel you have to do something. I'm in the boat where what he did after he slapped, where he sat down and was like, keep my wife's name out your mouth or something along those lines. If you would have did that from your seat, let Chris Rock know, like, bro, this ain't the time. This ain't the one. Like, trust me, this ain't the joke you want to try, you know? From his seat, let Chris Rock hear that. And if Chris Rock then wants to go with that joke, then, like, he could have got up and got on the stage and did something. I would have been like, Chris, he told you not to say it, right? You know, everybody has consequences for their actions. That's what everybody was saying. Chris Rock wanted to make the joke. There's consequences for that joke, the slap, right? But at the same time, now there's consequences for Will Smith for acting the way he acted. If I had to choose a side, I sided with Chris Rock because I'm assuming he did not know about the alopecia. I'm assuming if there was a little inside joke about the infidelity and stuff, she can't be mad because she is the one who put that shit on Front Street with her little Facebook show, Red Table. Letting everybody know the goings-ons in their marriage. So now that's public knowledge. People can talk about it. Other comedians have made jokes about it. Chris Rock has not, from my knowledge, except the little inside, you know, jab about Demi Moore and stuff. My thing is, like you both said, bro, this is a historic night. I think only 4 African-American actors have won Best Actor. Like, there's been numerous ones to win Best Supporting Actor, but Best Actor, probably 4 or 5 off the top of my head. And the Oscars have been going on for like decades. And the fact that there's only 4 or 5 brothers that have achieved this award, it's saying something. And now all of that is thrown out the window now, Will, because of this slap. To another, like, let me ask you guys this. If it was a white person who made that joke and Will Smith went up there and slapped him, what would your reaction be, Denise?
Clutching your imaginary pearls.
I do declare.
Oh, damn.
I do declare. But would that change the narrative or whatnot? You know what I'm saying? Would we just be like, oh, that's what that motherfucker got? You know, good for him. He knows not to talk about black people. You know, because I think. Hear me out. I think
honestly, like, if we're being real about it, as messed up as it may sound, I do think that would have been the general consensus amongst a lot of people. If it was a white guy who said it or whatever, especially if it was somebody who was known to make like snarky comments and remarks and come for a black woman, everybody would be Team Will and say that Will was justified in his action.
What about you, Janae? What you think? Like, how would that change how you're looking at the situation?
I mean, I was to look at the situation as it was fucked up. Like, that I don't think that Will should have reacted in that way. However, I do think that the public would have handled it a lot better, because I feel like as a black community, right? Mm-hmm. We like both of them, right? We like Chris Rock, we like Will Smith. So as a black community, we gonna take it even harder because of the stage that it happened on, versus if it's like some white person that does it, we're gonna find a way to justify it, because it's like, well, the white dude shouldn't have been talking shit about the black woman to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think the fact that it was.
Can I add one other thing? So apparently that joke that was on the stage, Chris Rock didn't even write the joke. It was a team of writers who wrote the joke. And he was just reading the teleprompter.
Nope. They didn't write that joke. They didn't. They said they came out and said they didn't write that joke.
Oh, they came out and was like, that wasn't us.
And it wasn't on the teleprompter either. Like that, he just ad-libbed that joke. Now, of course, the Academy could be lying.
It seemed like an ad.
I mean, it seems like a lot of lies that are going on about this whole ordeal. Because, like, at one point, allegedly, Will was asked to leave, but then he was still there, and then they were going to escort him out, but then they didn't. He got the award, and he got the party, and he got to do all of these things. I really don't know. Like, at the end of the day, we'll never really know what the full true story of it is, because every other second there's a new rendition or a new story or a new chapter added to this saga.
Yeah. I just think this sounds kind of fucked up, but I think the Academy or everybody there was probably glad that it was black on black slap instead of a white and black thing. They're probably like, woo, that way we can't be pointed at like we were at fault here. You know,
dodge the bullet.
They did that on their own. Look at we had nothing to do with that, you know. So it took the whole race thing out of the context, right? Nobody's looking at it as the odds of a black person winning a major award at that thing is slim to none. Now they're just like, I mean, we gave y'all one and y'all this how y'all act. So that's number one for me. Number two, the fact that it was a very predominant black actor in Hollywood who probably gets parts offer only. He probably don't even have to audition for stuff because he's that good of an actor. Goes up to another very predominant, successful in Hollywood black entertainer, and that happens, you know. And now we're just like, fuck, man, like, damn, like this shit is out of line. Me, I'm just, y'all know kind of comedy Chris Rock be throwing out there. Y'all sitting in the front row. It's your night. He gonna give some attention to the Smiths up there. He could have went extra ridiculous, right? With the entanglement stuff, right? Could have been super obvious with that. And I think they kind of shed some light on that in one of the things when who was hosting? It was Amy Schumer, Regina King, Wanda Sykes, and they did the whole COVID thing where Regina was like, I'm single, let me bring up some men to do some testing or whatnot. And then she went up to like Will, and Jada was like, Will, I know you're married, but you know, Jada said it was cool, so you know, and they laughed it off, right? They like, ah, ha, 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 ha. And now I don't know if that was like the thing that lit the fuse with, like, we don't want that to be the running gag for tonight, this thing with me and Jada or whatnot. So Chris could have easily had just did some shit like that. But hey, you got the shaved head, G.I. Jane. And, you know, Will Smith was trying to handle it instinctively like I think he should have handled it. The whole laugh and, like, let's get through this. And this commercial break, something I'm going to pull Chris to the side and probably tell him how I feel about that shit. You know, bring Jada and he could apologize to Jada. Like Monday morning quarterback shit, we're looking at it. That's probably the best way he could have handled it. But he felt some type of way. He was laughing. And that's my biggest thing. Like, you was keying till you saw the eye roll up from Jada, and you're just like, nah, I got to do something. And I think he didn't know what to do at the time, and he was just like, instinct just took over, and he did that to try to.
There was no thought to it. Like, I don't think it wasn't premeditated. It was just like he looked over. It was like, okay, something has to happen, and he just went up there. And I wonder if he knew that he was going on stage to slap him, or by the time he got on stage, the slap was happening, like, up, time to follow through.
Yeah, like he was like, bro, I'm halfway up here. I got to do something. I just can't walk up here and sit down. You know, like, I got to do something.
Right.
Bro. And I will say, like, I don't know how Chris didn't react. Like, I don't think I could have did that. But shout out to him for being a big man and keeping it contained as much as possible. So here's another thing I'm looking at. Like, I feel that I don't know. Like, I feel Jada has some faults in Will reaching the point to where he feels he has to slap Chris Rock. Am I wrong for thinking that way or not?
This is what I think. As long as they've been married, he knows what he married, right? He knows who he married. And with all of the things that they both keep putting out in the public, I feel like the only reason a lot of the blame honestly is on Jada is because August was the actual first one that said some shit.
Yeah.
And then it kind of forced her hand to be like, all right, we're going to come to the table to talk about it, blah, 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 right? So we don't know the inner workings of their marriage. Right? But both of them are very public and open, and they've been letting us into their marriage, unfortunately. If Will at any point in time felt like he was being embarrassed, like, dude, at the end of the day, like, you're a man. There is nothing tying you to this woman. Like, yes, she initially said she's never wanted to get married, but when she gets married, I don't want to get a divorce. But you knew who you married. If you want to continue and stick with this, and if you feel like your wife is embarrassing you, like, you as a man need to be like, all right, this is not what I'm going to accept anymore, and keep it moving. Like, y'all don't have to keep putting your business out there, right? If y'all was to be separated, we don't need to know that, but like, you're the one that chose to stick beside her regardless of all the shit that she done already put you through. So I feel that's why I don't think Jada gets the blame, because we know what she is and he knows what she is, but you are still making an active decision to be like, I'm going to stick with her. And if I need to validate her feelings, that's because you still love her, which is fine.
All right.
But your decisions are your decisions.
Fastest basketball player I've ever seen from one end of the floor to the other.
And just man up. Like,
what about you, Denise?
They have messed.
Oh, is it my turn to speak or something?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Oh, because you were still talking and I was just like listening and stuff like that.
He was like, what you think, Denise? And you just looking there.
The main thing that comes to mind when I think about this whole ordeal is I'm like, please delete me from this group chat. Like, I don't want to know what's going on anymore. Yeah. Like, just delete me from the group chat, because like, if you're going to stick beside her and you're going to ride this thing out or whatever, like, you have to ride it all the way out. Sometimes I can't help but think, like, did he feel like he had to react that way because does he constantly feel like he's living in the shadows of being married to her and trying to live up to Tupac? I mean, that's something that a lot of people have brought up and said, like, hell, they even had memes going around like, well, I'm not impressed, Tupac would have shot him. And I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, probably would have, but here nor there. The question at the end of the day is like, it takes two to tango at the end of the day. So while yes, we know what she is and how she is, and she's put herself out there on Front Street and has been very transparent, and he's been very transparent and open to like what's going on. At the end of the day, like, if this is your wife and you're like, okay, but you know what, no matter what, we're gonna stick this through or whatever. There's really no room. We can't blame her for that, because like the decision, they made the decision that they were going to stick beside each other at the end of the day, no matter what it is that they're going through, no matter it is what happened or whatever, like that's just going to be. And in that means if he has to accept that maybe perhaps he's going to have to live in Tupac's shadow, if that really is the case, then like, so be it. That's his decision to make, and his decision alone. I stand firmly with, take me out the group chat. Yeah.
So like when that happened, like I said, my cousins were all in on the, Will, you keep slapping people that disrespect your wife stuff, which I understand to a point. But here's where, so Will was laughing, saw the pain on his wife's face. It was like, let me protect her. Let me do something to defend her. Will had this same look on his face during Red Table Talk. Like the meme that was shared around the world that took over the crying Jordan face was the crying Will Smith face. When she was getting into the details of not too into the weeds, but explaining how her and August got into whatever. And you can see the camera went to Will, and you can see on his face the hurt. He was holding back tears, his pride, everything was hurt. And Jada saw this, and she continued to do the show and then put the show out for everybody to see. My thing is, Black women need to be protected. Emotional, like when somebody's coming for y'all, Black men, just people in general, just need to understand, like, bro, we just can't have people just continue to drag Black women in this country. But at the same time, Black men be getting teased for having feelings and all this stuff. You see Will Smith crying. Like, honestly, as a dude, I'm just like, bro, Will is going through some shit right now, and it's getting super public. Open marriage or not, here's where I'm at. Will's doing his shit, you're doing your shit. Will's keeping his shit under wraps. Your shit came a little untangled and got in this entanglement.
He was a blur.
Did you need to come and put this on the show and talk about this shit to the extent y'all did? Or, like, because you don't owe us an explanation, Jada and Will. Like, y'all life is y'all life. I feel everybody in Hollywood be doing some shit. You know what I'm saying? They ain't hosting shows talking about this shit to the level y'all are doing. The fact that you did this, one, I think you did it for ratings, you know, to get people to come check out your show. Two, to kind of get your name back out there, because I don't think nobody was really talking about Jada. You know, Will was out here doing movies and stuff. Jada wasn't, you know, so I think she felt kind of in the shadow of Will and needed to be put back out there. That's just me being super, you know, all into this conspiracy stuff. But at the, like, Jada, you saw how Will was hurt, and then now you're hurt and he got to get up and do something. Like, I felt like Jada should have probably did more to protect Will's feelings and all that shit in the initial part, because I think that build up, all the memes he's been seeing, all of this stuff, people talking about him, he kind of felt like probably less of a man at that point, you know? So then when this kicks off after the Regina King, that little skit they did, he was probably like, I got to put an end to this. So, I mean, I don't know if he put a close the book on the entanglement chapter, but now he just opened up this new thing where now he's a meme again. You know, every other thing on my feed or whatever is him slapping Chris Rock with some caption, some new thing. So I'm like, at the end of that Red Table Talk, y'all was like, we in this together, ride or die. Boom, fist bump, high five, whatever they did to make it look like you're over it. But I don't think Will was really ever over it. Like, I feel like Jada has broken this dude. Like, he is, like, she did something to him where he just felt the need to have to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was hard for me to see Will do that, because you've been in the game for too long, Will. People been coming at you. You know how to handle shit like that, and that is not what I thought he was gonna do. Again, I built him up too high. I just thought he was on that level of like Denzel, because I can't see Denzel doing shit like that. You know, I just put him in the category of, bro, you got way too much class. You know better. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's funny? I could actually see Denzel slapping the shit out of somebody for disrespecting his wife. But on the other end, we all know that for what it's worth, nobody would ever try Denzel, so we'd never see it. But if he was put in that situation, hell yeah, he's slapping the hell out of anybody who came for Pauline. I think that's her name.
Pauline or Pauletta? I think it's Pauletta.
On the stage like that, though? In front of everybody? Or he just gonna put hands on you behind the scenes?
Nah. I think
it's gonna be some training day shit.
So
he gonna do it behind the scenes.
So the homie,
but like nobody would ever try Denzel that way. However, people would definitely try Will Smith because they've already seen him. They already view him in a cookie cutter type of way.
But here's the thing: I don't think
so. In a way, it was like in this moment,
he didn't try Will. The joke was that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
he reacted as if the world was testing his gangster.
Why would he have to react like that, though? Like, people have been trying his gangster. Like, he whack, he don't rap real, he don't cuss, and then he put out this book. Like, and that's another thing. People talk about the book where he was like, My grandma said, I don't need to cuss because an intelligent man can get things across without cussing. Well, obviously, he was in rare form that night. And then another thing is not to poo-poo or make light of childhood trauma, but his dad would put hands on his mom in an abusive way, and he never did anything to defend his mom. And he probably felt at that moment. A lot of people are saying at that moment, it all comes back. It all comes to a head, and he's like, I got to protect my wife because I was unable to protect my mom and all of this stuff. So that's where the slap comes from. What do you guys think about that?
I actually own the book, and so I know what it is that you're referencing. So I could honestly understand that. Like, that slap, it wasn't just about the bald head G.I. Jane reference. It was probably a whole lot of things that compiled together. This was just the tip of the iceberg or whatever, and it could have very well have been like his breaking point.
So I think I don't know exactly what how Jada worded it on the Red Table Talk when she was talking about her entanglement, but just to paraphrase, I think she was kind of talking more towards about how like there was something that she wasn't getting from Will, right? And it was something that like she was missing. So I think I think it all does go together, where it's like if I'm telling you like, hey, I went and I did this, and I did it with this person that was my son's friend because you weren't giving me this, you were not reassuring me, or whatever the case may be. Now he is trying to do what he thinks is right to reassure her and let her know like, hey, I'm gonna stick beside you, I have your back no matter what. But I think the problem is like he wouldn't have been right in any situation, right? Because like let's say if he would have just sat back and been like, I'm gonna talk to him afterwards, we don't know if the reaction would have been like, oh no, he should have checked him then. You know what I mean? Like I think no matter what, he was gonna be wrong with how he reacted. But I do think that being in that predicament, seeing like his wife not feeling protected by him and cheating, his mother not being able to be protected by him, like all of that is gonna intertwine. But I think it was like one of those situations that bubbled up because that man didn't express himself in the right way at all.
Right.
At all.
And I would also say like this whole situation, like if you're familiar with love languages and what they say about it, it's very important to love somebody in the way that they need to be loved. And truth of the matter is, when he assaulted Chris Rock at the end of the day, he was showing Jada that he loved her potentially in the way that she may have conveyed to him in some sort of roundabout way, that's how she knows that she's loved. She needs that protection. Mm-hmm. That going up on stage, assaulting this man, you are proving to me that you are providing protection. And so for him, I don't think there was much thinking. Like I said, he may have known as he was like 2 steps towards the stage, or by the time he got to the stage where it's like, oh shit, I'm here, so I gotta do something or whatever. But I think the only thing that we could all say at the end of the day is what you saw was a man protecting his wife and loving her the way potentially that she needed to be loved. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to matter to them what we as the public think, like whether they're right or whether it was wrong, how it should have been handled, or it could have been done this way, that way. That's not our place to say, really, per se. We can have opinions all day long, but nothing changes. He did what he did, and something led him to do that, and that's just that. And so here we are.
Yeah.
And now you got half of America running around saying, I support it. And then you got the other half like, it could have gone another way.
Yeah. So Cam says, I think he's damned if he did and damned if he don't. If he did do anything, the internet probably would have still clowned him for not sticking up for Jada and laughing at the joke.
Yep. Facts. Which would have further tore him down.
Right. Yep. And this is me. I don't think...
so if it wasn't this slap for Chris Rock, it would have been a full-on assault to somebody else.
I don't think the internet would have went in as hard as like if he didn't get up on that stage. Like I don't think anybody would have looked at him and been like, damn, Will's a bitch because he didn't do nothing when he made a joke because Chris Rock makes jokes. It's the Oscars. Everybody gets clowned. Celebrities get clowned. Normally it's for their career or lack of career or whatever, but I get it. Like he had to have known like what he did fucked this shit up. I think me and Janae were talking and I think he retired from the Academy so he can know like he is no longer going to be receiving any nominations or whatever for any parts he plays in movies. And we talked and we think it's more of those, you know, like when a high-ranking official in the military gets caught in some shit and they, instead of them getting fired, they just step down. So I think that's the move he went with. He got his Oscar and he's like, yeah, I'm withdrawing my name from any further consideration for any Academy Awards and stuff. So good on him for that. I think that was going to be a forceful thing. Like if he didn't withdraw his name, they were probably going to be like, bro, you can't come back to any of these things ever again. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Arnold's in here. Deron, he says the slap carries more consequences, but I think it made more of a statement. To do something as overt as that and risking so much is a powerful statement and testament of his love for her. Yeah, I mean you could see it that way, but
he risked it all.
Yeah, he like gave up everything.
Like his career may very well be over now.
And I mean, you could tell he instantly regrets it because if he was proud of it, he wouldn't have went to his social media, scrubbed all the comments, disabled comments on his post, and all this other stuff because he knows what's coming, right? If he was really about it, this is just my opinion, he would have left them things up and let people say what they felt about him and stood on his ground. You know what I'm saying? So I think he instantly regrets it. He didn't. So I'm a fan of this. Wherever you pitch the tent, that's where I'm gonna hold the circus at, right? You disrespect Jada on live TV in public. Now I gotta do this to you on live TV in public. So,
I gotta disrespect you on live public TV.
But then you get up there and you want to boo-hoo and cry, talking about I have to protect people. I protected the actress that played my wife. I had to protect her. Richard Williams was a protector. And you spun the whole thing to make it like you were this dude now because you played this part or whatever. However you tried to spin it. I had to protect the two girls that played Venus and Serena. Protect. Which I feel like you didn't have to do that on set because I don't think nobody was trying to harm them or anything on set. But talk your stuff. I apologize to the Academy. I want to apologize to the Williams sisters. The motherfucker right there behind the stage with the right side of his face or left side of his face still scrunched up from that slap. You could apologize to him in public too because you're doing everything else in public. Apologize to him in public. But the apology comes from the iOS Note app on your iPhone to your IG where you disabled all comments and likes and stuff. Like, Will, if you bout it and that slap was something you stand by it and Jada stood by it because she was keying after you slapped Chris Rock. You know what I'm saying? Then stand by it. But I know you regret it. You know you're wrong. You know you could have handled it better. So here we are. That's where I'm at. Like, I feel, bro, he needs to talk to somebody about how to handle whatever it was that happened. Because a lot of people do retarded, crazy, out of pocket, nonsensical stuff in the name of love, but it doesn't make it right what they do. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
Right.
I agree. I don't agree with the video. I don't agree with like Jada laughing about it because I feel like it makes it worse, right? Like if she legit laughed after he slapped him, like that's just out of pocket, right? But then I think that further validates to them, like in their little circle, that what he did was right, and that's how she needed to see that he loved her. But like, in all honesty, that just sounds like they got like a whole toxic relationship, anyways. If that's the shit that you need from your significant other to validate that, oh, I love you. Like, no, like this is not it. Not it at all.
You didn't see that video, Janae, of like, I guess it was like from behind the table that Lupita, Will, and Jada were sitting at. So after the slap, Chris Rock comes back with, wow, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me. And you can see Jada laughing because like the rest of it was like a nervous laugh from the rest of the crowd. I'm assuming, you know, they were just like, like, yo, this shit's wild. I don't know if at the time they thought it was staged by how they laughed, but then it's when he sat down and he said what he said, keep my wife's name out your mouth, said it twice, right? And you heard the first time he said it, everybody was not key, and they were like, oh, like maybe that wasn't a skit. Maybe he really did that shit, you know? And he did. But I don't know. Like, again, this is all opinions. We don't know. We're not in there. We can't make decisions for him. But Janae, how do you see him moving forward? Like Will Smith, and then we'll talk about Chris Rock as well.
I think Will is going to have to do a lot of things to rebuild his credibility and his reputation right now, because it took a major hit. Because at the end of the day, like majority of the folks are not looking at it from the lens of he was protecting his wife, because a lot of people do feel like Jada is very toxic anyways, and she took this man out of character over something that people didn't think was that serious. I don't know though, because I didn't know that he had disabled his comments, right? Like I didn't necessarily think anytime that somebody posts an apology on social media, I don't ever feel like it's genuine, right? Mm-hmm. Because even if your emotions are high in the moment and you don't want to apologize immediately, you shouldn't have apologized to everybody but that person. You should have apologized to Chris Rock. Like, even if you couldn't do it in that moment, like instead of you partying it up and we see in the videos of you partying it up, like go have a conversation with that man, because that's what you're supposed to do. But I think it's just gonna be hard for him moving forward, right? Like, I think he can always get movie roles, right? He can produce his own movies. They got the money to make their own movies,
right?
He's got his TV show Bel Air, so I think he'll still probably have a lot of fan base that supports him. But I think in a lot of people's eyes, like he's just lost that credibility because you've played it up over 30 years being something, and like it all came crashing down in one moment.
What about you, Denise?
I think it could very well be like the end, but not necessarily like in the most negative of ways. So like, yes, he has the money where he can like produce his own stuff. If he wants to do movie roles, like people will still offer him these options, because like you cannot deny like how phenomenal of an actor he is at the end of the day.
Right.
But maybe what we'll find is within the next couple of weeks, going into the next couple of months or whatever, like it all led up to this. He finally won the one award and got the acknowledgement that he wanted. That could be the end for him. And so, yes, I do think he has some regrets with the slap, but I think he's going to live with those regrets just fine. And if this does tarnish his career to the point that he can't do anything else, I don't know that he's going to be necessarily lifelong upset about it. I could see him just moving on.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to hurt his chances in getting roles in movies. Because there's worse people in Hollywood still acting who have done way worse than what he has done.
Yeah.
And they are getting parts in movies and stuff. So,
but you expect that from them.
Oh, I didn't think about it like that. I did not think about it like that. But is that more our fault for putting him on that pedestal? Because like if Will Smith was in a movie next year, do you think people will boycott that movie just because of what he did at the Oscars?
No.
Well,
depends on what the movie's about.
You're gonna always have some that boycott, but the majority will not, because you always have some that boycott. Like people was boycotting Aquaman because of Old Girl, right? But people still went and saw the movie.
Yep. And that one blew my mind. I'm just like, yo, he's legit beating Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Domestic abuse is
Exactly.
happening. Johnny Depp is a man like,
Exactly.
yo, my wife
Right.
is beating me, and everybody's like, it's cool.
Yep.
It's cool. Let's check out Aquaman. So yeah,
That's why I say, like, when it comes to Will Smith, it's totally going to be up to him at the end of the day. Will there be a shortage of roles coming his way? Absolutely not. Is he going to take these roles? I don't know. Maybe he might take a sabbatical. Maybe he might take a pause. Maybe this was it. Maybe King Richard was like the pinnacle, and now he's ready to just like retreat and like go do some of that self-healing and like really just step away from the limelight, step away from everything else, and really just focus on himself.
yeah.
Because I mean, at this point, like, outside of you just love the craft of acting, what are we doing it for? You've already been recognized, you've gotten the Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you just absolutely love acting and you just can't breathe without it, you got the money. Like, what more is there left to do?
I would be hurt if this dude never is in another movie, because he's a great actor. Like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air aside, because that whole sitcom and stuff is iconic to me. When he started playing these dramatic roles and getting better and better at his craft, to where he started getting mentioned in the names and started getting these nominations, I was like, look at this dude. Like, this is what I like to see. Like, him coming up, paying his dues. Now he's in the running, giving these other guys a run for their money for these awards and stuff. So if he was to really just be like, nah, I'm done, and that's his call, cool. If he's gonna step away to get some help or to get his mind right, him and Jada get their marriage where they both are happy and all that stuff, cool. But like, if this drives Hollywood to not give him, like, this would be like, I think that would cause more of a backlash in Hollywood if they start blackballing them because of this. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think, and people have been talking about it, I don't think you can really fault him, because like everybody's talking about, man disrespected his wife, he had enough of it, slapped him, don't talk about my wife. Cool. Out of pocket for a night, for a little bit, cool, but that shouldn't ruin this man's Hollywood career. You know what I'm saying? Where you got people doing way worse shit in that.
Absolutely. Pedophiles, rapists, still out here.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Kenpachi says that is not the kind of validation that is good for any relationship. Violence is never the answer. Will's a grown man, and he knew and should know that this is wrong to strike another comedian for a joke that was most likely written by someone else. So I don't know if you just joined in. Apparently, the writers for the show did not write that joke. That was like an off-the-top thing Chris Rock did. So I don't know if Chris Rock just thought him and Will and Jada were cooler than they actually were at the point. Again, I think it's more of the alopecia thing. Like, I think Will has insight that we don't have. Like, Will probably has seen Jada crying as hair is falling out of her head, you know, like showering, hair falling out of her head, crying at night, and Will seeing this in person. Nobody else is seeing this, so nobody knows how this is affecting her. She had a video where she was talking about, I don't give a damn what anybody thinks about this bald head of mine, right? Like, she's just out here, I'm out here, I don't care what nobody has to say, I'm walking in my shit, you know, I'm proud, I'm not ashamed of it. And apparently, you know, it was still a touchy subject for her because she did not laugh, or I don't know if she didn't laugh because of the inside joke of Demi Moore cheating on Bruce Willis with old boy and her cheat with. Well, I don't know why she didn't find the joke funny. Will tried to tough it out, get through the ceremony. He saw his wife hurt. He did what he did. Not saying we all haven't made mistakes in the heat of the moment and shit like that. But so what do you guys think about Chris Rock? Like, obviously, big move on him for not pressing charges. LAPD rolled up on him, was like, you want to press charges? This dude assaulted you. He's like, nah, it's cool. Then a fake statement was put out there saying, you know, from Chris Rock's team this, and Chris Rock's team was like, he did not say anything. So he has yet to say anything about this. But me and Janae were talking, and this man is currently on a tour. So I think Will Smith just gave this man probably 20 minutes of material for his tour, where I think now Chris Rock is he's a dude from Brooklyn, right? Bed-Stuy. Like I want to say Chris Rock is not a bitch. He's probably grew up in some rough neighborhoods and shit. So him not retaliating, I feel like he is just going to take it out in the comedic route and probably tell some very salacious jokes about the Smith family. Should he or should he not do that? Denise.
Take me out the group chat. Just take me out the group chat. Honestly, it's not my place to tell him, to say like what he should or should not do. But what do I think's going to happen? I actually don't really think that he's going to necessarily go the route of telling salacious jokes about the Smith family. Mm-hmm. Especially if they are as cool as he thought they were, if they really are friends or whatever. Right. I could honestly see Chris Rock being the bigger person and just taking the high road and like really not speaking on this. The same way everybody just wanted to act like that shit did not happen for the rest of the awards ceremony, but then every once in a while somebody had to say something to remind them like, yo, this really did happen. I could see him going his whole career like, yeah, it happened, move on.
Yeah, Drea said apparently someone said fuck Will at his last set and he stopped and was not about that. So I guess somebody in the audience was trying to get him to go in on Will Smith and Chris Rock wasn't having it. So what do you think, Janae? Like, you think would he be in the right, or would he have the right to do that and everybody be like, well, I mean, he did get slaps and he didn't press charges, so this is his retaliation, I guess.
I could see him doing a lot of jokes about the actual slap and like how he felt or like what was going through his mind in the moment. But I don't see him making any type of extra jokes about Will or Jada at all.
I would hope that I'm messy, so I'm just like, bro, go in. You know what I'm saying? Like, go in. He slapped you. You took that slap, and you could tell because after he got that slap, he was like, "Boy, I could, ooh." Like he was like, I could say some, like he looked like he was about to say some shit, but he was like, nah, let's get into the nominees for whatever thing he was about to put out. So, like I feel like if this is how he wants to get his side, because he still hasn't said anything. Like I don't think no official statement has been put out by Chris Rock. I don't think his team put anything out. I don't know if he's doing that to be like, everybody, let's move forward. There's no need for me to talk. But I do feel some way that he hasn't come out to be like, I accept the apology, let's move forward together, forget about what happened, bad taste or whatnot. I would like for him to come out and at least apologize to Jada now that everybody knows about her condition with alopecia. Just be like, it's a poor joke, bad taste, poor taste, sorry Jada. So something along those lines. I would like to see that. Again, he's his own man, he does what he needs to do, but I just feel like the fact that he hasn't come out and said anything public outside of I'm not pressing charges lets me wonder if he's going to work something into his act. I don't know if it happened too fast where he doesn't have anything prepared yet, but I don't know. I know I got tickets for his shit though in October, so I'll let you guys know when
you'll be the first one to be able to tell it. But I'm gonna play devil's advocate on this one, and then I'm gonna get off my soapbox. What if the reason why he's not saying anything or not speaking on it is because if he does speak on it and he does apologize to Jada and acknowledges that the joke was in poor taste, by acknowledging that you were in poor taste by saying this joke, on the other hand, now it justifies and validates why Will Smith got on stage to slap the shit out of you.
Well, I think that if he was to apologize to Jada in private, to just be like, hey Jada, I apologize for telling that joke. I wasn't aware that you had alopecia. It wasn't done to harm you because of your medical condition. Like that is totally
right. In public, I'm talking about if this was done in a public manner, same way that Will Smith got on Instagram and did the note. If Chris Rock puts out a statement for the world to see.
No. I don't. In my opinion, Chris don't need to apologize for nothing in public.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I expect the comedian to tell a joke anyway. So.
Right. And I know there have been worse jokes told about Will and Jada to that extent. Now, I don't know if it was like because Will was not in the audience when these jokes were told, but like there was no reaction. Will and Jada were moving. They were taking the high road when all these social media comedians and all these people doing skits about it and stuff. And they were taking the high road, which I was like, bro, y'all are above it. Like, why are y'all worried about what these people doing online? You're Will and Jada Smith, multi-million-dollar empire producing. I haven't seen Bel Air. Everybody tells me it's a dope show. So I mean, you got all this stuff going for you.
It is.
No reason for you to get sullied in all this stuff down here. But maybe it just hit different.
But I guess in a way, if you think about it, like jokes and stuff that's floating around, memes that's floating around online, is it really going to carry the same impact as a joke that is said on a national stage in front of an audience on the biggest night of your life? Mm-hmm. I don't think, I just think maybe, yes, there were tons of jokes that went around on the internet or whatever, but it's a lot easier to brush them off when you got, you're just living your everyday life and these things are happening. But for a joke to be said of that caliber, even though it may not have been that horrible in some people's opinions or whatever, but it was made in poor taste in others' opinions, it was still told on a national stage.
Right.
With cameras rolling, live as fuck, for the entire world to see. And it's known, everybody knows, in general, this is going to be your biggest night. I feel like that's going to add a level of pressure too, as to what worked up the slap as well, because it's not the same as just seeing a bunch of memes just get posted on this Instagram page or this Facebook page or on this Twitter handle or whatever. It's a whole different ball game, especially in a tux. Everybody's suited and booted to the nines.
Bro, the way he just made that shit look, he walked up there like what character he played in Wild Wild West? Because he just had his one hand on his belt. He walked up there like he had a revolver or some shit. Came up there and shapow, and then just turned right back around with his hand on his. I was like, that's why I could have swore it was fake. I'm like, bro, you too smooth with this shit, Will.
And Chris Rock kind of leaned in. He was just like,
yeah.
That's why I thought it was fake too. Because I was like, what?
I was just like, if anybody was to slap Chris Rock's 6 foot 150 pound ass, he would slide across. You know what I'm saying? Especially right. Will Smith, because he trained and all this other stuff for Ali. He got. I feel Will Smith has hands. He was professionally trained or whatever for Ali. Dude is in better shape now. He's heavier, bigger than Chris. I would assume more damage would have come from this slap. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, oh, that had to be fake. Because, he was smiling, leaned in, hands behind his back, all of this stuff. Will Smith turned around with a little smirk or something. I'm just like, that had to be fake. And then Australia was like, nah, homie, here's the unedited shit. We get shit unedited here in Australia. Check this out. And I was just like, nah, that was real, bro. Looking at Will's, his jaw was clenched. If Chris Rock was to say something else, Will probably would have put super hands on this dude. It would have been a whole nother thing. So, I don't know. I'm just sad that this happened. The black man in me is upset that two predominantly very successful African American men in this industry, that was their interaction and shit. And we had a black man finally getting to produce the program, Will Packer. They're like, bro, here, give it a shot. So the Academy is trying to do the thing we are fucking up, not letting black people have a bigger part in this thing. Here we go. And then this happens. Now, if people were to point at that and be like, man, Will Packer's just wilding out, letting people slap people, and again, I'd be like, y'all are out of pocket for thinking shit like that. It was just the perfect storm. Right. All of the shit Will and Jada have been through. Will probably seeing how his wife's conditions affecting her. Chris Rock not knowing that she was suffering from that because she has had this short haircut for the longest. Willow's had it. Her mom has it. Like no female, I think, in that family or who be hosting the round table talk has the long hair and all that stuff, right? So he's probably thinking that's just the thing y'all are doing. Makes the joke. Will's just like, whoop, there it is. You know, that's a fucking mistake. Goes up there and slaps the shit out of him. So it seems like everybody, like Will seems to be moving forward. You know, he put a couple posts up on his IG and TikTok, and Chris Rock's been silent. So I don't know how he's handling it, but I'm glad he handled it the way he is. He's not being messy or anything like that. And according to what Andrea said, people are trying to force his hand to be messy, and he is not taking the bait. So I am not mad that he has not said anything, because like I've been in that position. Somebody does some fucked up shit to me and they be like, oh, you know, like, sorry about that shit. Like, bro, at Tyndall, Janae know, motherfuckers be doing motherfuckers dirty, and then all of a sudden be like, hey, bro, you know, sorry about that, but blah, blah, blah. I'll be like, don't worry about it. You know, and it ain't no forgive and forget shit. Like, I remember the shit you did, dog. Like, it ain't going back to as cool as you thought we was. Like, we could be civil, but we ain't gonna be best buds and hanging out and shit. So maybe that's where Chris Rock's mind is at. I don't know. But y'all got anything else to say? Because I'll let you guys go and we can wrap this up. I know it's late over there on the East Coast.
Well, some of us got a weekend. We ain't got to work.
Oh, no, I have to work tomorrow. That's all.
I'm sorry.
What? The Good Sis?
That guard life, boy, it ain't it.
Yeah, it's drill weekend. Gotta go service the troops.
The weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, hold up.
Yeah.
Did you have today off?
Yeah, I graduated from tech school, and so they gave me you know, some time off, but they're like, but you're definitely coming in for drill weekend. It's like, oh, okay, great.
Drea says, get in on this retired life. # retired life.
Right? That's what I'm trying to be. 3 more years.
Trying to get there, Drea. Trying to get there. 2 years. 2 years.
Y'all counting down. 3 years, I'm there.
Yeah.
3 years.
Bruh.
Well, I want to thank you guys for coming on here, because normally it just be me and Black, and I feel bad because a lot of the things we talk about when it comes to issues with women and stuff, like it's always a male perspective, and we try to be super, you know, perspective to you guys' position, but since we're not female, we really can't speak on things the way you guys can. So that's why I'm glad you guys were able to jump on here and give your opinions, both as women and as Black women. So I appreciate you guys giving me some of your time tonight to talk about this. Because I've been wanting to talk about it, like I did my thing on Patreon, but you know, just to have other people to bounce ideas off, because a lot of the people I'm around are not Black females, you know, unfortunately where I'm stationed at,
right,
and whatnot. So I thank you guys so much for coming on here and sharing your thoughts and stuff.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's always a pleasure.
It was super mad last time you was on here, Denise. She was like, "Why you always invite
She
her,
didn't
not
tell
me?"
me. This girl literally lives down the street. She ain't even tell me that she was gonna be on. I'm like, Denise, like I talk to you damn near every day. Like, what?
So we're still living in the past?
Of course.
Denise, you
Okay.
selfish? You selfish with the airtime?
Selfish.
You can't share the spotlight?
I'm here.
You can't share the spotlight. What is happening?
I am here. In fact, I feel like I am here because that was how Janae was going to be here.
What?
What is the bait? I'm just a pure sanctified woman who is brought forth to the pulpit to speak my truths.
Girl, you about to be struck down by lightning.
You get coffee with one
Why,
pastor,
like-
and now you holding it down. Huh? You get coffee with
What?
one pastor.
First of all,
Oh, she didn't hear that story either? She didn't hear that story either, huh?
I did not hear that story, boy.
You
got
ain't
so
telling
many
your
stories.
friends. You ain't telling your friend about these stories.
We gon'
First of all, I didn't even end up getting coffee with the pastor. It was just like, this is too much for me. I'm not ready to be anybody's first lady. I can't do this.
Yo, the pastor. No, man, we definitely gonna have to do a separate podcast talking about the pee in the dating pool and the fuckery that goes on out in the streets.
Yes.
Old buddy had the hat ready to propose to her. Like, you weren't gonna get a ring, you was gonna get a church Sunday hat to sit up on that pulpit with the Martin Luther King fan. All right now. Oh man.
Does anybody love the Lord like I love the Lord? If you do, say amen.
I'm shocked. I thought I was getting these stories secondhand. Now I feel like I'm getting world premiere stuff from you, and I appreciate that.
No, you were getting world premieres because it was always like you would hit me up right after this shit would happen. It's like your spidey senses was tingling, and you was like, "What's going on over there?" Well, if you must know, boom, 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 boom.
But then you don't be hitting me up after, like I'd hit you up and you'd be like, this is what's going on. But then you would constantly provide me updates. You'd be like, bro, let me know when you have time. I got to tell you something. So I'd be right out there at work, be like, I'll be back. And I go outside. What happened? What happened? You ain't hear about the peacock soiree, Janae?
The what?
People out there with like ostrich suits on and stuff. Janae.
Yo, you only told me about dude with the lifts. That is all you've told me about.
The elevator lifts?
Yeah, that's all you told me about was dude with the lifts.
Wait, I don't know if I told Willie about that.
Nope. Hey, this a different show. This a whole different show. You
know about the dude that
you know what? Let's save this for the next segment of There's Pee in the Dating Pool.
Man, there's so many stories out here, boy.
I can't wait.
I learned
here,
to be nice
to come and try and defend themselves. Because the actions, y'all are telling me that dudes. If there's a dude here from Maryland, I'm gonna need y'all to tune in when we bring them back to talk about how y'all be acting in Maryland. Because y'all, bro, we had a whole butterfly transition happen for Denise. We got a whole senior citizen chasing Janae. There's some things going on that y'all need to be aware of. So if you ever go TDY or send your people to Maryland, they gotta get a special brief from OSI or something about how y'all be acting up there.
The Africans, the Nigerians, you gotta stay away from them too.
The scammers.
They
you say it like they're a whole faction up there, like a
no.
Because there's a bunch of them. They're all architects, doctors, lawyers.
They will stalk you, mad aggressive. They might pop up at your house. Don't let them install shit in your house because they're not gonna do it right.
They gonna hit the roundabout about 4, 5, 6. They gonna spin the block a couple of times to get your attention, and you're just gonna be like, oh, I don't want it.
I had Kai up here. Kai was up here one time, and I told her, I was like, yo, do not make eye contact with nobody. You be too friendly, then they think that's time to be like, hey, can I take you home?
Like, no. No, you cannot.
No.
That's how you look at me.
No, we not doing
You must want me.
No. You can't even go to the Fridays and just eat food without somebody being like, yo, so can I hang out with you? Can we go home?
Oh my God.
No,
I feel so bad for y'all, man.
Can't even eat a crab leg in peace.
Oh my God, that fucking night we went to the goddamn Crafty Crab. Denise ass don't know how to not make eye contact with people. We at the bar. I feel somebody coming. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at her, and her dumb ass gonna make eye contact with him and be like, there's somebody behind you. Don't you think I fucking know?
Hold up, wait.
Why would you make
so he right behind you? Is he right behind you?
Yes, he's.
And she turns around and looks this man in his eye.
She's so she's sitting right here, and I'm looking at her, but I feel him coming, and she is looking over at him, and she gonna make fucking eye contact with him, and be like, ma'am, there's somebody that is trying to get your attention. Like, bruh, don't make fucking eye contact with him.
This ain't right.
So did you turn around and
now I gotta see her? Yeah, because at that point he was close enough where he fucking heard her say the shit. So now I gotta turn around, and I was like, oh, hello, and he's like, hey, yeah, I like you look really great. Oh, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Can I get your number? And I was like, oh, I'll take your number. Bitch, get away from me.
Pimp shit. Yes, pimp shit.
And then Denise asked,
you was helping her enable her pimp status. Like
she was not.
Oh, so
Denise,
you can help her. You can help her evolve, but you couldn't help old buddy make the
no.
Okay. It's always cool when it's somebody
Denise,
else.
I hate you for this. Don't flip this shit on me.
Let me tell you, Denise set me up for the okie doke, right? Because before I even got to the area, I was like, yo, I'm gonna get locks. And she was like, okay, bet. And then I was like, yo, I'm gonna dye my hair red. And she was like, oh, okay. She did not fucking tell me that I'm considered bait out here.
This ain't right.
Having locks, having fucking red hair, being light skinned, it's like fucking catnip.
And tatted.
No warning.
And having tattoos. Like, yo, you should have told me I wouldn't dye my hair red. Now
it wouldn't have mattered. Your hair could be red, blonde, brown, black. When they seen them tats, them locks, and they saw that thing, and it was over. It was a wrap, Miss Nams.
She did not warn me. You did not fucking warn me. You set me up for fucking failure. You can't go out here nowhere. You can't go to the grocery store. You can't do shit out here. Like,
hello. Period.
But nope, there's a lot of females out here. There's a lot of thick females out here. A lot of them. A lot of them.
So it's, you think, Janae,
and trust me, they are shooting their shots. They are blocking shots too.
You telling me
we are all members of the WNBA here.
You telling me it's the red locks that got people acting like that? Like if you didn't have those red locks, you would be
it's not just the red lock.
Yeah, and then like I
no.
going to the grocery store with a hood on now. Yo, you the one that told me that. You the one that told me that.
I mean, red, it's going to attract more attention. You were already going to get attention, but that red, it was another level. Now you just got to hit the Heisman on them hoes.
Why you ain't teaching her how to avoid all of this stuff, Denise?
Exactly. You were supposed to school me, Denise. You from here.
I told you you was going to get chose.
You told me that shit after that fucking night in the Crafty Crab is when you fucking told me. At that point, it's too late. It is too late.
You finna get chose.
You just got chose. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my God. Oh shit.
Better you than me?
Y'all are hilarious. They should have never put y'all together, man. They should have never put y'all together.
Facts.
Oh man, I don't know. When I make it over to Virginia, I'm gonna have to make it up there to hang out with y'all a couple.
Oh yeah, we gonna
have
to
do absolutely.
I gotta see this shit in person because I feel like it's a work fiction, but the look on Janae's face lets me know it's real. And then I have actual screenshots from you, Denise, letting me know the shit is real out there. How these dudes be acting. So.
It's real.
I just haven't seen shit like that since sitting outside of the Blue Opera, people watching. Like I'm just watching this shit.
Korea.
Yeah, I'm just like, people out here wild. And then I get to the States, I'm like, maybe that's just over there. But apparently not. Apparently Maryland got a little strong Tom district out there where people just be acting any kind of way.
Yes.
So what did we learn today, ladies and gentlemen? If we go to Virginia or Maryland or any parts of Virginia, anywhere up around there, don't have red dreadlocks.
You gonna get chose. If that thing thinging, you gonna get chose. Period.
Don't dye your hair red, and if you dye your hair red, don't get the locks. Don't be light skinned. Don't have
tattoos. Don't make eye contact.
No eye contact. Look down at your feet. Don't go grocery
It don't matter
shopping
what you
during the day. Because apparently,
Better order Peapod. Have them deliver them little groceries to the door.
y'all wild. Y'all wild. But we gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Episode 74, The Smoke Pit. Conversation was good. Thanks for everybody who tuned in. Again, thanks to Denise, aka the Good Sis, and the homie Janae, aka Rampage, for coming in and sharing their thoughts. Unless you guys got anything else to say, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Y'all good?
Thanks, Willie.
It's been fun. I got work tomorrow. Bye.
Take care. All right, thank you guys. Yo, great show. I thank them both for jumping on here. For our Patreons, $100 giveaway. We're doing that tomorrow exclusively on the Patreon. So if you get a link, if you're a Patreon member, you'll get a hit up. You'll get a notification that we're about to do the drawing. I'll do a video so you guys know it's legit. And we'll find out who gets this $100. So be on the lookout for that. But until then, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys be safe. Have fun this weekend. Stay out of trouble. And y'all be easy. Oh, and because he's not here, I don't know how he's going to feel about me saying this. But in the words of Black Man, have love, make sex.
While we
Y'all
at
be
it,
easy.
tell me whose man's is this? Cause I got questions. I'm hoping you can answer it. Get ready, cause you know we gon' talk a lot of shit. It's Mac and Mac. Welcome to the Smoke Pit.